All right, good morning, folks. It's Nick Mulbauer here, and we are retention pond fishing for crappie. Look at the beautiful color on that one. Purples, blues, silvers. Beautiful fish there. Gotta love it. We'll release that one. It's catch and release only, and we got a tiny little itty bit Swimr Bobby Garland there, natural color. So the first thing you kind of need to do on these retention ponds is kind of establish a profile of the depths. And a lot of times these retention ponds are just shallow basins, and they just have really slow, mellow sloping banks that extend out into the deeper water. But it's generally really mellow. So once you establish those depths, you can start picking apart the depth you're going to be throwing at. That water there is probably no more than 3 or 4 feet deep that extends out there. So as soon as that jig hits the water, I'm reeling, because most fish feed upwards. You want to keep that bait kind of just hovering above those fish. Just slow cranking as slow as you possibly can in these cold months, these cold water months. Very, very slow. Alright folks, there's crappie number 2 out here, just off these rocks. And that's a nice crappie, guys, not bad at all. Just right here in those residential retention ponds. Let that fella go. Beautiful crappie. And what we got here is a lot of rock kind of spread out here, so those crappie are probably tucked up in those rocks. It's shallow. It's probably fish hit in 2-3 feet of water, and I think that the submerged rock is what's holding those fish there. There's another one. And it's just a matter of working your way around these ponds, finding the depth and the right cover. These ponds do not have a lot of cover, so the fish use what they can to set up on and hide in. After that, it's just a case of finding the right depth. And it's a lot of work, guys. Even on a small body of water like this, you still have to put the work in search for those fish. The water clarity's gone down a bit, so I have a really finesse itty bit Swimr on here yet, and a chartreuse jig head just to have that bait show up a little better. And we're just cutting it across this little cove here. There's another one, guys. They're all adhering to this rock that extends out into the retention pond. Every single one of them I've caught is where rock extends. Retention ponds are some of the easiest bodies of water to find fish and even potentially catch them in numbers. Every retention pond is different, just like any lake. Some of them don't have crappie, some of them just have bluegill and bass. Sometimes the crappie do get mixed into there, sometimes they have catfish. It's just a matter of what you're targeting and just getting out there and trying it, guys. Shop around and thoroughly fish each and every one of those. Start painting a picture of what the biodiversity is in those ponds. Like I said, you just got to make your way around the lake, just find those sweet spots. This time of year, I always tend to hone in on the south facing banks, for bass, bluegill, crappie, everything, because it's warmer water, and that is where life starts again every year. Plants start to grow there faster.
the banks warm faster and it just draws in a lot of life. So I always start there, but I do work my way around because what I've learned from fishing is that you can never know too much. They're always, you know, doing something completely different than what we thought they'd be doing. They'll pull a 180 on us and they'll do something completely different. So start where you think those fish might be. And if you're not getting bit, maybe make a couple changes, but if you're just all in all not getting anything to happen, really consider moving to a place you might not think they are and fishing a depth they might be at, because it might end up being a really great decision, because that's just how fish are. They're always pulling some new moves on us. So another thing to consider is look for those warm, rainy days. That's a really great way to maybe catch them a little easier. What that rain does is it puts ripples on the surface of the water. You got the cloud cover, and it can really help draw those fish into some shallow water, so you're not working such a massive water comp. You're more working laterally rather than vertically. You just have a lot less of this to deal with, and you're just dealing with this. So you can fan cast a lot easier, and you can get to that depth that they prefer a lot easier. You're only fishing 3 feet of water instead of 15 feet of water. It's just so much less water column to work when they're pushed up shallow. So consider fishing on cloudy, rainy days, light rain. It always seems to be great. It's really more beautiful than you might think it is too. It's a beautiful day to fish as long as you're warm, bundle up, get some dry clothes. A lot of fun. So went bass fishing this past weekend, so we're gonna start working on that video. So I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.